The FBI trains agents to detect lies in seconds, not with polygraphs, but by exploiting tiny cracks in human behavior. Today, you'll learn their secrets to spot a liar instantly, whether it's a shady coworker, a first date, or your kid sneaking cookies. These methods are backed by decades of behavioral science and field-tested in interrogations. Spoiler, liars always leak truth. You just need to know where to look. I'll break down 5 FBI-approved signs of deception, how to spot them, and why your gut is usually right. But before we dive into these telltale signs, there's something crucial you need to understand about establishing a baseline, the foundation of accurate lie detection that separates professionals from amateurs. Before accusing anyone, note their normal behavior. How do they talk, gesture, and react when relaxed? This is what FBI agents call establishing a baseline, and it's their golden rule for a reason. If your friend always fidgets, fidgeting doesn't equal lying. But if they freeze suddenly, that's a red flag. Pro tip: ask harmless questions first, like, "What did you eat for breakfast?" to gauge their baseline. This gives you a point of comparison for when the stakes get higher. Once you've established how someone typically behaves, you can start looking for those split-second giveaways that most people miss completely. Those revealing microexpressions that flash across a person's face faster than they can control. Paul Ekman's groundbreaking research reveals that fleeting facial expressions leak true emotions in just 1/25th of a second. These micro-expressions are like truth bombs your brain catches even when you don't consciously register them. When someone feels fear or guilt, watch for a quick eyebrow raise or subtle lip bite that vanishes almost instantly. Contempt is even more telling, a one-sided smirk or barely perceptible eye roll that contradicts their words completely. For example, a coworker says they love your idea but flashes a micro-sneer that disappears in a blink. Trust that flash. They hate your idea but don't want to say it. While these facial cues are powerful indicators, a trained liar might control their face, but their words often betray them in ways they don't expect. Which leads us to the verbal patterns that even the most practiced liars struggle to hide. Listen carefully for linguistic red flags that make a liar's story unravel under scrutiny. Over-explaining is a classic tell. Liars often add unnecessary details to sound more credible, overwhelming you with information to distract from the central deception. Notice when someone avoids contractions in denial statements. "I did not eat the last donut" sounds more formal and rehearsed than the casual "I didn't." When someone repeats your question back to you, "Did I take your charger? Did I take your charger?" No exclamation mark. They're actually buying precious seconds to construct their lie. The FBI's analysis of Lance Armstrong's infamous denial interviews revealed this pattern perfectly. When discussing his legitimate cycling career, he spoke naturally. "I race a bike." But when denying doping allegations, his language became unnaturally precise and formal. While these verbal patterns can be revealing, sometimes the most damning evidence comes when a person's body betrays their words through subtle mismatches that are nearly impossible to control under pressure. The FBI trains agents to look for incongruence, when someone's body language contradicts their verbal message, essentially broadcasting two opposing signals simultaneously. Watch for someone nodding yes while saying no, a subconscious contradiction that reveals their true answer. A slight shoulder shrug during what should be a confident claim suggests uncertainty or deception they're trying to hide. Pay special attention when someone covers their mouth or touches their neck while speaking. This is a primitive subconscious shielding behavior that suggests discomfort with their own words. A classic example is when your partner says, "I'm fine," but crosses their arms and looks away. Trust the body over the words. They're definitely not fine. While many people obsess over eye movements when detecting lies, the reality is far more nuanced than the myths suggest. And understanding the true science behind eye behavior will give you an edge in spotting deception. Forget what you've heard about liars always looking left. That's pure fiction. Eye direction varies dramatically from person to person, making it an unreliable indicator on its own. What really matters are sudden changes in eye behavior that deviate from someone's baseline. Watch for excessive blinking, a physiological stress response their nervous system triggers automatically when lying. Equally telling is when someone stares too hard, maintaining unnaturally perfect eye contact. They're overcompensating for the shifty eyes stereotype they've heard about. Pro tip: If their eye contact becomes robotic or unnaturally fixed, they're likely mentally rehearsing a lie rather than speaking spontaneously. While these visual cues are valuable, there's another dimension to deception that's even more telling: emotional timing. The way emotions unfold reveals a fascinating truth about lies that most people completely miss. The science is clear. Genuine emotions appear instantly, while fabricated ones come with a telltale delay. Our brains process authentic reactions automatically, but manufacturing an emotion requires conscious thought, creating that split-second gap that exposes deception. Try this test. Share unexpected news and watch their reaction timing. Real grief or shock manifests immediately in their expression. There's no processing time needed. Faked sympathy sounds more like, "Wait, your dog died? Oh no!" with that brief but revealing pause as they mentally prepare the appropriate response. You've seen this in action when a salesman pauses before celebrating your amazing deal. That hesitation speaks volumes. They're calculating their performance rather than genuinely reacting. Run. Now that you can spot these 5 key signs of deception, the question becomes, what's the best way to handle a suspected liar without creating unnecessary conflict or burning bridges? When confronting a suspected liar, FBI agents rely on subtle techniques that extract the truth without creating defensiveness or permanent damage to relationships. Ask open-ended questions like, "Walk me through what happened," which force liars to generate details on the spot, something they hate because vagueness makes their fabrications harder to maintain. Then master the power of silence. After they answer, say nothing and maintain eye contact. This creates an uncomfortable void that liars often feel compelled to fill with additional information, sometimes accidentally revealing the truth just to escape the pressure. The bracketing technique is particularly effective. Some people say X happened, others say Y. What's your take? This approach presents multiple perspectives, making it safer for them to admit the truth without feeling directly accused. Remember this crucial caution: never outright accuse. Instead, collect clues patiently. Liars who are exposed gently often confess voluntarily to save face, preserving the relationship while still getting to the truth. Understanding deception goes far beyond catching people in lies. It represents a fundamental power shift in how you navigate relationships and make decisions. Spotting deception isn't about becoming paranoid or suspicious of everyone. It's about protecting your most valuable assets: your time, your money, and your trust. When you can accurately detect dishonesty, you avoid investing in relationships that drain you, business deals designed to exploit you, and situations where your good nature is being taken advantage of. But with this knowledge comes serious responsibility. Use this for good, not to manipulate others or create unnecessary confrontations. With great power comes great awkward dinners. Knowing too much about human behavior can make family gatherings interesting when Uncle Bob starts embellishing his fishing stories. Remember that the goal isn't to expose every minor deception, but rather to safeguard yourself from significant harm while maintaining compassion for the complex reasons people sometimes hide the truth. Microexpressions, verbal slips, body mismatches, delayed reactions. Now you see the cracks that reveal what's really happening beneath the surface of everyday conversations. These FBI-tested techniques transform you from someone who merely listens to words into someone who reads the complete human message being transmitted. Ready to put your new skills to the test? Practice on a TV interview tonight. Political figures and celebrities often display textbook examples of these deception indicators. Watch carefully, then comment with your detective work and what specific tells you spotted. Subscribe for part 2, How to Lie Like a Spy and Never Get Caught. Just kidding. Or am I? Either way, you're now equipped with knowledge that puts you ahead in a world full of half-truths and spin. Stay sharp. The truth is out there. And now, so are you.